Yeah, boys. It's that time of year. Time of that fantasy football league preview show from yours truly, the Commish Thrills. Can't believe fantasy football is already here upon us. It seems like just yesterday, my team was eliminated by week 8. So hopefully we'll see some different outcomes this year for some of our teams. Others, B-hole and stuff, you guys can suck a dick. I'm tired of seeing you in the playoffs every single year. So nothing personal, just, like I said, as DX might do in 1999, suck it. All right, so let's get right to it here. This year, 2025, this is the BFFFL Corporate Edition. And I know I just referenced wrestling, but it is not about the corporation and Vince McMahon and The Rock and such. No, we're talking about outside corporations. Things like, think about the stock market. Think about, Jim Cramer and things like that. Think about Wall Street. So try to give your team name a hint of Wall Street right there. And I see some of them already rocking and rolling right now so far. Myself, I'm the Limited Liability Ballers. We've got Bear Down Worldwide, Bed Bath & Bijan, Dirty Bird Holdings LLC, Firth and Schlong, Peyton We're Sorry Foundation. So if you haven't made a team name yet because, the league's not started yet, go ahead, log into Yahoo and start editing your team to give it some sort of, hint of Wall Street and the stock market this year. I'd like to thank Brian James Green right there as a somewhat co-commish for coming up with this great idea this year. You can check our league as our team, our divisions are named after, damn, I've already forgotten here. Well, we'll have to worry about that later. That's not as important as where we are right now. But we've got we're going to have 2 divisions this year. So we'll have a league winner from each division, a division winner, if you will, and they will be our first round buys in the playoffs. So if you win your division, you are automatically a first round buy this year. Last year we had 3 divisions. I'm going to simplify it down some so that way if you win your division, boy, you just skating into the second round of the playoffs this season. You deserve some credit right there. All right. So once again, that's our theme. Think about Wall Street. Think about corporations. It can be team related. It can be nothing related right there. But we just need some Wall Street love right there so that Brian and I, B Green and I, not Brian Hull and I, because he's too busy making barbecue dollars hand over fist. Some might even say hand over dick. So we gotta, we're gonna try to give it a little more pizzazz this year, and I'm gonna try to make some videos. I haven't done it for baseball, but football is a little bit easier than baseball, so I'm gonna try my best this year to get that handled for us. Sorry, I'm looking at my daughter telling her, do not put this barking ass dog outside right now as I'm making this video. Keep that dog inside. All right, I already got the chickens in the background, so I can't have the dogs either. All right, moving on to our next point right there. Let's think about our league setup this year. When you're talking about your team, we're going to have, I'm going to pause. We'll be right back. And we're back. Our team construction this year, we'll have 1 quarterback, 2 receivers, 2 running backs, a tight end, a flex, which is wide receiver, running back, or tight end, kicker, defense, DB, DL, linebacker, 5 bench spots, and 2 IR spots for a total of 3, 6, 9, 12, 17, 19 possible positions on your team if you fill out your complete IR. So we will be drafting 17 players Saturday night at 8 o'clock, Saturday at 8. I know there was some back and forth yesterday about when we should have the draft, and some people had already made plans. Some people, your commish, totally spaced on it actually being Labor Day weekend and people, doing stuff during that time. But, fantasy football does take precedence. Fantasy sports take precedence over, family, friends, wives, kids, all that stuff. Everybody knows it's fantasy football time, and get your ass in the back right there. This is more important. All right. Rules and scoring this year, we are a half-point PPR league. Touchdowns from quarterbacks count 5 points. Interceptions are -2 points. Passing yards, you get 20 yards per point. You have 1 point for a 40-yard completion, 2 points for a 40-yard tutty. Rushing touchdowns, 6 points. 10 yards equals 1 point. You get a 40-yard run, it's a point. 40-yard tutty is 2 points. Man, Denver, I appreciate the cockle-doodle doing back there. Receiving tutties are 6 points. Any reception, half a point. Same thing for receivers as is running backs. A return tutty is 6 points. And then we got some miscellaneous categories here. 2-point conversion is 2 points. Lost fumble, -2 points. If you fumble and recover, doesn't matter at all. Your team still has the ball, so we're not taking away points this year. Offensive fumble return TD, that's 6 points. And then everybody's favorite right there, field goals. A shorty field goal is 2 points. 20 to 29 is 3. 30 to 39 is 3. 40 to 49 is 4. 50 plus is 5. So it doesn't matter if you're kicking a 73-yarder or a 50-yarder, you're getting 5 points for that. If you miss a field goal, that's a baby one. 0 to 19, you're losing 2. And a missed field goal, 20 to 29, is 1 point off. PATs are 1 point. And then we look at defense. So think about the defense that you're selecting. If you pitch a shutout, 15 points off the riff. If your team gives up 6 points or less, you're getting 10 points from your defense. 7 to 13 is 8 points. 14 to 20 is 3 points. 21 to 27, null and void. You better hope your team did some other things. Maybe got some interceptions, sacks, and fumble recoveries. If your defense gives up 28 to 34, that's -3. And if your defense totally gets its ass ripped to shreds and gives up 35 or more, you're losing 5 points. Every sack from your team defense is worth 1 point. Interceptions, 2 points. Fumble recovery, 2 points. Defensive tutty, 6 points. Safety, 2. Block kick, 3. Return yards, 30 yards is 1 point. So if your team's getting some good return yards, you're getting 1 point every 30 yards worth of returns. Kickoff and punt return tutties are 6, and a 4th down stop is 1 point. And if somehow somebody returns an extra point for a score, that's 2 points. Now, our defensive players, as I mentioned earlier, we have a DL, a linebacker, and a defensive back. Every tackle's 1 point. Every assist, tackle, half, that hasn't changed. Sack, 2.5 points. Interception, 3.5 points. So you got TJ Watt getting 3 sacks in a game. Boom, you just racked up 7.5 points just from sacks. In addition to, he would also get a tackle for that. So it's really 3.5 points for every sack when you think about it like that. Forced fumble, 2. Fumble recovery, 2. If TJ Watt strip sacks, scores a tutty, damn, he just got like 18 points right there. That's a bit of an exaggeration, but you get my drift right there. Pass knockdown, 1.5 points. Tackle for loss, 1.5. All right, we do have some bonuses in offensive categories this year. So passing yards. At 400 yards, you get a whopping 3 extra points. The league goes to offensive, letting the ball air out, so you're going to get 3 points for 400 yards or more. Rushing bonuses. At 100 yards, you're getting 3 additional points. At 135 rushing yards, you're getting 2 additional points. And at 175, you're getting 2 additional points. You could rack up with a 175-yard day, you're going to get 7 additional points to your running back right there. Receiving, a little bit more strict right there. A little bit, you got to get a little bit more receiving-wise. You still get 3 points for 100 yards. At 140, you're getting 2 additional points. And at 180, you're getting 2 more additional points. So think about that as you're drafting. Bigger days equal bigger pays. All right. Let's see. Talking about the payouts this year and the dues. It is $100 per team, which at 12 teams is $1,200. You will get $1,000 for winning this league, and you will get $200 for finishing second. There's nothing else. You're either first or second. Anything. I mean, Ricky Bobby wouldn't be happy with that because if you're not first, you're last. But I do want to give you you're double your money if you make it to the Super Bowl right there. As I mentioned earlier, the draft time is Saturday night, 8 p.m. There will be a Google Meet opened at 7:45. I would love to see everybody jump in there if you can. I know we're all over the United States, so it's a good chance for us to see each other, talk a little smack, and then, once the draft starts, everybody's kind of quiet and mute right there. If anybody wants to come over to the crib on Saturday night, if you're in Douglasville, hey, knock yourself out. I'll be on the back porch drafting. And we can have some grub right there, just hang out, but do not feel compelled. Not a big deal if you can't make it. Do not stress that. And lastly, if you have not joined Slack, join Slack and try to be active. I know there's some of us that are super active on there. I love it. There's some of us that chime in every once in a while, but that's what makes our league so special is our weekly videos, which I promise we will have weekly videos this year for football. Dead set. It's B Green and I have already spoken about making those happen on a regular basis. And being in the Slack board just allows you to, have a little bit more fun, especially on those Sunday afternoons, Monday nights when you're like, damn it, I need you to drop the pass, don't score again. Oh shit, I just lost on Monday Night Football. That is the absolute fucking worst right there. All right, so I believe I've covered everything that's going to lend you to having a successful fantasy football season. If there's anything else that I've forgotten, please let me know. I'll do my best to answer all questions and answer any concerns right there, just like I do at school. That's my tagline at the end of every email. Please email me if you have any questions or concerns about what I've said. So I'll do that right here as well. You don't have to email me. You can just get on the Slack board and message me, or message me through the Yahoo app, which is one of my lower preferences right there. So I hope everybody has a great season, except for 11 of you. I'm really just meaning me. I hope I have a great season. And it's going to be a good one, guys. It's going to be real good. Make sure you get your team names updated by the draft time, or, the day after the draft. That's fine. Just before week 1 starts, have your team name and a picture to correlate with it. All right? Don't just have the generic Yahoo, football helmet right there. I hate that shit. All right? Give it a picture that goes with your team name. All right? Let's make this league as functionable as possible. See, even my dog is getting hyped up about this. All right, but anyways, from your commish to you guys, I look forward to having a great season, and I'll see everybody in the draft on Saturday night at 8 p.m. Peace.